Today on Podcast Them Down, we're talking about Mike's gross face. Welcome to Podcast Them Down. I'm Tim Regan from U.S. power metal band Burning Shadows, Fade to Black Metallica tribute, Dual-Violin folk metal band ISENMOR, and recently vacated Graves true zombie metal. Be sure to subscribe, like, or follow. And now, on with the show. So today, Mike is going to gross me out, and I'm going to try not to audibly cringe, because as referenced in the Pocono Folk Metal Fest interview, repeatedly, he got his face rearranged.
Yes.
Some sort of surgery.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot the part where I say who I'm here with. I'm here with Mike from ISENMOR and recently vacated Graves, and I'm here with Pete from also ISENMOR and Intentional Train Wreck, which by now people have heard the Intentional Train Wreck episode that we haven't recorded yet. So it's all nice and confusing, but everyone's well acquainted with you now. So, all right. So Mike, I did no preparation for this. So
I don't know that you need a bunch.
So talk about how they made you uglier.
Okay, so I'm 36. When I was about 15, gone to I don't even remember how this happened, but some dental professional had mentioned it's like to my parents, like, hey, we have to go and like really what he should get is like they need to wire his jaw shut and break his jaw and all this shit. And I didn't really understand what that meant at the time. So my mom brought it up with me and was like, dude, you know, the dentist said you needed this done. And I was like, I don't really want to do that.
You sound like I have to interrupt because by now everyone realizes that you sound like you just left the Star Trek convention.
Yeah.
So this is permanent, and this is how all the ISENMOR vocals are going to sound from now on.
Yeah. Yeah, I sound like I live at Comic-Con. That's great.
You kind of turn into like almost like a real life murder face. It's kind of
nice. Yeah, that's about right. So this was told to me sometime in my teens, and I was like, no, I really don't want to do this. So I went through the rest of my life, and I've had headaches like forever, just continuous, multiple times a week. And at some point, I was like, okay, I really would like to stop having headaches. So I went to this dentist, which is a mistake, by the way. Like, don't go to a dentist. Here
first. Mike is an anti-dentist. He's an anti-dentite.
If Supreme would be disappointed, I think.
Damn it. If you're going to get your teeth straightened, like, don't do Invisalign to your dentist. Go to a proper orthodontist. I know that may seem silly, but the dentist can offer you Invisalign or other teeth straightening things, but they don't necessarily know what the fuck they're doing.
Invisalign is not a sponsor of Podcast Them Down yet, right? Meaning?
Well, I don't think they'll want to be after this.
We'll issue the retraction when they sponsor the podcast.
So I went to my dentist and I did Invisalign to straighten my teeth. And part of the reason was I wanted to get these headaches to go away. And it made them much worse. Because I guess it made my teeth fit together in some way, even though they were kind of fucked up. And then when they were straightened, they really didn't fit together at all. So, eventually several years after this, and I just been dealing with like constant headaches, I went to an orthodontist. And they did some measurements, and they basically found out that like my incisors sit directly on top of my bottom teeth. So I have an overjet of 0 millimeters. So there's supposed to be a little bit of overlap with your top teeth. And I know everybody that's listening to this is like testing their teeth, their bite right now.
Did you watch me do it?
Yes, I did. Yeah, your front teeth are supposed to overlap your bottom teeth a little bit. Mine sat directly on top of my bottom teeth. So additionally, apparently my upper jaw is undersized slightly. So what I'm actually doing is I'm pulling my lower jaw back as hard as I possibly can to get it to fit at all, just constantly. So talk to them, and they're like, okay, you probably need this. You need to go see a surgeon who will evaluate you. So the type of surgery it's called orthognathic surgery, and it's done by a maxillofacial surgeon. So you go to the surgeon, and the surgeon looks at you and is like, he has to actually do an evaluation and tell you whether or not you're worth seeing.
You're not worth my time. Be gone.
For real, like you can go to him and go, yeah, you're not bad enough for this to really be worth. You know, it's like you're not a candidate for the surgery. And then
I do have some boat payments, so you're welcome to still have the surgery.
So I went, evaluated me, said, yes, you're a good candidate for the surgery. I don't know the exact measurements. I was wrong, other than that overjet measurement. And sorry, I know I sound really gross.
No. I really enjoy. We really should have done a Star Trek episode before they fix your talking.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to be this way for a while. So.
Oh yes, you're coming to the next Star. It's the third aired episode of the original series. Oh yeah, I just revealed when those got recorded.
So
there's going to be a special prize for anyone who can correctly guess what episodes were recorded in which order. Because they are not published in the order they were recorded.
All right.
So you were talking about Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek. So once the surgeon evaluates you, then you actually have to go back and go to your orthodontist and get your teeth to a point, so that the surgeon can work on you. So the orthodontist, I went through a few years. So I did several years of Invisalign. And then once I realized that this is like way worse, I went to the orthodontist, and now I'm several years into orthodontia, like braces. Once your teeth get to a certain point, you'll go to the surgeon, and the surgeon says like, hey, this looks good. Let's stop moving your teeth. And we'll do the surgery. So, the orthodontist and the surgeon have to work pretty closely with one another to try to figure it out. So eventually, my teeth got to a certain point, locked it down, and then April 13th, I went in for my surgery. So I've never had a surgery before, and apparently this is a fairly significant surgery. So part of from my perspective, it's like I go in, and it's like, okay, just get naked and put on this sheet. It's like, okay, great.
To work on your face?
Yes. I don't know why.
Was this in some sort of office?
It was
outside.
I think it was in West Baltimore.
This is worse and worse.
I woke up in a dumpster. There was a very cartoony looking stitch down where my kidneys are. I think that's how it went. So anyway, yeah. So did the whole surgery prep, and I went in. Eventually, they cart you into the OR, and I was being super chatty, and I had been listening to Carcass to prepare for the surgery because they have a.
I was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. They have an album called Surgical Steel, which is like their first comeback album, and I was like, yeah, this is a good way to really get into it.
I actually have the Surgical Steel, the T-shirt specifically. Like I bought that when they came out with when they came back for their like 20-year reunion or whatever.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Did you go to that show when they played? I think that venue's closed now, right? They played in Baltimore.
Sonar.
Yeah, whatever that building was called at the time.
It was like Suffocation, and I think like what is it? That band that's just number 1347. Is that what it is?
49.
1349. Sure.
Come on, man. Jeez.
Hey, fun fact, that is every metalhead's pin code. Yes. Yeah, that was that was the first time I saw Carcass.
They're great.
Yeah, it was
They've done a great
fantastic.
show.
Right on.
Oh, they have a new album coming out this year, apparently. If it's not already out. Torn Arteries.
What date is it coming out / did it come out?
I don't know yet.
All right, don't worry about it.
Okay, so went in the OR, and I'm just being chatty. And then I wake up in the ICU, because apparently after surgery, you wake up in the ICU, and I'm swollen to shit. And my lips are the most swollen. It looks like I have red lipstick on. They've tied.
Again, you're sure it wasn't really lipstick?
Yeah, and my butt hurt.
Look what I did to him.
I'm not really sure what happened. No, so they had. I had like 2 ice packs around my face that they had kind of loosely tied shut, because I guess they don't want to put a whole lot of pressure. So, yeah, I ended up reading this later, so I know why this was this way. So, what I had was called a Lefort 1 on my upper jaw, Lefort 1 surgery or cut or something. And then I had a sagittal split
I think it's
on my lower jaw.
Sagittarius. It's one of the
Sagittarius. So Lefort is like here, I think. I'm probably.
For
if anybody
those
has
listening, he's pointing to his nose, kind of.
Oh yeah.
That line
so
between the corners of your nose and the edge
Yeah.
of your lips.
So I
Kind of while I'm demonstrating, my fingers are entering my mouth, so I can talk kind of like Mike.
Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead.
I appreciate the solidarity.
You're welcome.
Yes, yeah. So
You're welcome.
it's like I guess it's like your smile lines on your upper jaw. So they cut my jaw there through.
Oh.
And apparently, I was reading this later. Apparently, I don't know if they use a bone saw or they might use like chisels and shit to like just pound through your fucking jaw. But they did that, and then they basically moved shit, and then they put titanium plates. The titanium plates are not like rejected by the body. So they screwed my jaws back together, or my upper jaw back together, and then on the bottom, whatever they did is, I guess, I don't actually know exactly where they cut, but it's 2 cuts and it's similar. So they cut through my jaw entirely, moved it around, and then reattached with titanium plates. So they yeah, it was.
That is literally metal as fuck. I mean,
yeah. So, the surgery is really interesting. To do this, they have to push around a bunch of nerves, move and or cut through a bunch of nerves. That's to my understanding. But it basically deadens most of the nerves in your face, or a lot of the nerves in your face. So currently, my nose is mostly numb. My upper cheeks are mostly numb. My lips. Oh, I think I might have some feeling coming back my lower lip. Oh, would you look at that?
If I had the soundboard queued up, you'd hear the rest of the applause.
Yeah, so my upper lip. There's still some numbness in my lips, and my chin is mostly numb. Which means that if I eat or drink anything, I basically am just filling shit down the front of my face constantly. But the thing about all this, though, is that because they fuck up so much of your nerves, it's not actually that painful after the surgery. You just feel bizarre. So, beforehand, they were very adamant of the fact that they're not wiring my jaw shut, which is true, but they did a rubber band it shut. So I've got all these surgical hooks on my braces that they put like a billion rubber bands onto. So I couldn't open my mouth at all.
We're firmly against wires.
Yeah,
we're gonna make sure you can't open your jaw anyway.
Yeah, there was a period of time where I told my mom afterwards, like, I don't really know if I can really appreciate the distinction at the moment.
By the way, there are 7 bands named Bonesaw on Metal Archives, and in addition to that, there's Bonesaw of the Brains,
Nice.
Mr. Bonesaw, I Bonesaw, and the best one, Bonesaw Lobotomy.
Bonesaw lobotomy. Nice. Yeah. Okay, so
All right, so they fake wired your jaw shut.
yeah, so couldn't move my jaw at all. So in the ICU, I'm super swollen. I had a very nice nurse who let me like text my wife and tell her that I was alive and didn't die. And then they carted me to a room to recover.
Oh, I actually have audio of after that part. Here, just listen. Yeah, so they're taking the bandages off.
Right.
And actually, you took over. You're taking the bandages off. All right, you got them off.
Mirror.
This is when you asked for the mirror. I'm sure you don't remember. He handed you the mirror.
You understand that the nerves were completely severed, Mr. Napier.
I got your name wrong.
You see what I have to work with here.
All right, and that was you getting your bandages off.
That sounds about right. It's pretty much what I remember. It sounds pretty familiar. I can't imagine why.
All right, so you were relocated to another room.
Yeah. So from there, it's more or less. At that point, they just want you to go home.
They did their thing.
Well, there's not really a whole lot for them to do at that point. It's basically about just managing your comfort until you can go home. So they didn't like try to kick me out or anything. It was just more like, okay, you're here. All you're really doing is resting. There's nothing.
You don't want to necessarily stay in like a hospital setting for a long period of time either, because it's going to make you more susceptible to getting other secondary infections and shit like that.
Right. Yeah. So, I'm mostly just sitting there and I'm trying to pass time and I'm drifting in and out of consciousness. I have some IV hooked into me, and I don't know what they were giving me, but I guess there was antibiotic at some point. So one fun anecdote. So at this point, including up to now, so I'm 3 weeks post-surgery, and my face is fairly fragile. I'm not supposed to bump it. I'm not supposed to do anything to it.
I don't like where this is going.
I have to go use the bathroom at some point. So I'm hooked up to IVs and shit. So I call the nurse, and she comes and disconnects me, and then she walks me to the bathroom. And then I go in of my own accord and I piss, wash my hands, and then I was starting to walk out, and I fall on my butt.
No.
I'm sitting there and I'm trying to like call for her, but my mouth is wired shut or rubber banded shut. So I'm like, and she's like, "Do you need help?" And I'm like, and just nothing happens. So I'm sitting there for a while and nobody's coming to help me. I'm like, oh fuck. Okay. I was like, I need to go back to the IV. I need to get back to bed. So eventually I feel okay. So I stand up and I'm like, okay, I need to get to the nurse immediately. So I walk out and I'm looking, and then I'm on the floor on my back, and there's like 7 people standing over me. So I guess I had I had a blood pressure drop, and I passed out. I fell backwards and smacked the back of my head on the floor, which is, given the nature of the surgery, good. Because if I had fallen forward, I might have caved my jaw in, which would have been, which would have been.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, so
That's fucking horrible. I'm glad you're okay. Fuck.
Well, so I'm on the floor, and I'm actually quite comfortable at this point. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, god damn it. But I feel okay. So there was a million like medical staff that comes over, and they're like, "On, can we get you up?" And they bring over like this big guy who basically hoists me up, and they get me to the bed. And it's like, so that moment became the point at which everybody in my family, myself included, considered myself to be extremely fragile, because there was a continued fear that I'd pass out again.
If it makes you feel better, I've always considered you fragile.
It's not totally incorrect. So
Mike doesn't make it fun.
Just roll with it. So yeah, I didn't fall on my face. They call in one of the maxillofacial residents, I guess, that's kind of on call for post-op. And they check me out, and they're like, "Yeah, you look fine. Like, it doesn't look like you jostled anything around." The rubber bands at that point effectively held everything very tightly together. So,
hey, I take back making fun of them then.
Yeah. So I was okay. So I made it through the night. I don't really remember much of it. I was just sleeping or trying to kill time. While I'm in there, there's another bed in there. This is worth adding to the story. So they get another guy in there, and this other guy he's having like a serious fucking problem where he's having difficulty talking, and he apparently lost 25 pounds over the last month because he can't eat food anymore. So while I'm recovering, I get to follow his drama.
I shouldn't laugh at this, but at least you had in-room entertainment.
Yes, but it's also horrible because they're like, well, it could be ALS. It's like, ALS is fucking terrifying. So the whole time I'm sitting there and I'm like I'm going between lamenting the fact that I feel like garbage, the fact that I'm swollen, and the fact that I'm like, it's like, this poor fucking guy.
That's got to be some fucking hard news to take.
He was chilling. Like if I could be as stoic as that guy, man. Like he's just like I don't know.
Oh, I mean, it might have been one of those things. It might have been shock, like
Yeah.
It's not something that you necessarily expect. Like you have this life-changing disability that might completely ruin your life.
Yeah.
It's not, certainly doesn't seem like news I think anyone is excited to hear.
No, I don't think so. I heard him load up his phone. He was playing like Bejeweled or something. He was taking it in stride, doing the best he could. So, but
he's playing Bejeweled, taking it in stride. I mean, I don't know. That I feel like that's like the like. Well, I can't off myself. I guess I'll just play Bejeweled instead.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it was a cry for help.
Maybe.
Next day my mom comes to visit, and she basically hangs out with me the whole day, and it's like not much is happening. And I'm like afraid at that point because of my fall. But they go in and they do a post-surgical X-ray. I was feeling pretty garbagey, but then they took me out to the X-ray, and it's like a panoramic X-ray. So they have this thing that like spins around your head, and maps out your whole skull. It's pretty neat. So they looked at me, and it's like, I look fine. Okay. And then I felt better after that. What's that?
When they do the panoramic X-ray, do they have to like hold it steady and move at a continuous pace? Otherwise, they have to like start over. Like, all right, hold still, Mr. Whistle. Oh fuck! God damn it! I moved it too far up and down. Have to start over.
You know what's funny is that that's actually fairly accurate. Like, it's a machine that does it for you. It's like you have to stay still, and it just kind of goes like that. Yeah, no. As far as I can tell, it's basically how it works. It's like stay still. It's going to rotate around and stitch together an X-ray of your whole face. So yeah, I felt pretty good after that, and then I decided to come home. And I ended up going to my parents' house because I have twin daughters that are toddlers, and there was absolutely no way that they were going to be able to handle the fact that I was like not able to speak. I wasn't going to be a very effective parent. Let's put it that way.
Well, don't set it up. Don't set it up.
Non-verbal cues better, like.
I'm sure you'd be no less effective than normal.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, what am I doing? It's like I'm just lobbing a softball.
Yeah, stop it.
So one additional thing that I forgot to mention before, it was worth mentioning at this point. One of the reasons that I sound so weird right now is that there is a splint on my upper teeth holding my upper jaw together. Right.
You look kind of like Lisa in the Simpsons episode with the dental plan.
Lisa needs braces.
That's not how I feel.
And that episode also parodied had the Joker scene in it when he smashes the mirror.
Wow. We already come full circle.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
We can wrap this up now.
So
you got a splint across.
Yeah, it's my entire upper jaw, and so it's actually really interesting. They, I guess I'll backpedal to the surgery a bit. They make a mold of your teeth before the surgery, like way before, and they do a bunch of measurements and things like that. So apparently, what they do is they 3D print like jigs for your face, so that they can guide the surgery in a very accurate and predictable way. And then the splint itself is created, and it has holes on the top and bottom that my teeth fit into. But what's fascinating about it is that it's like, okay, it fits on your upper teeth, and then they have to start really test it. It fits on your lower teeth. But because my jaw is out of alignment, I couldn't like close my jaw and engage both sides of the splint. But now that I've had the surgery, I can. So
yeah, you're enjoying that nice full bite now, aren't you?
Yes. Well, other than the fact that I had the splint.
Well, you will be enjoying a nice full bite.
Yeah, like my molars might contact. It'll be fucking incredible. So it, recovery happens. It's like 10 days with the splint in my mouth, wired shut. Or rubber banded shut. I can't use a straw. I'm still not allowed to use a straw because there's some thought that it might like rip out my stitches.
Oh my!
Yeah, so I can't use a straw at all. I can't blow my nose because they had to do my septum as part of the surgery. So I'm basically just like leaking. I'm like drooling. and I've got snot and it's like blood coming out of my nose, and I can't open my mouth. So they give you these TUMI syringes, and it's like
it sounds like feeding a turtle.
Yeah, you suck up like Ensure because that's the only thing you can fucking eat, and then you just pop it into like the corner of your cheek, and you just squeeze it in.
You know what? I think we also gave the cat medicine that way once.
Yes. Yeah. You're literally feeding yourself via syringe. I quickly grew to hate Ensure very, very fast. It's basically, but it's like one of the only things that is like nutritionally complete. So you can't really get around having something like it. So yeah, I had went to Ensure for 10 days. Eventually, I managed to get, I could like breathe through my nose again.
Hey.
Actually, let me caveat that.
Stop it. All right.
No, I couldn't really breathe through my nose to begin with. So now that I've had the surgery, I can breathe through my nose, which is fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's magical, isn't it?
Yeah. But after 10 days of recovery, nothing being particularly interesting, I go in and they undo all my rubber bands and they give me these two. I'm wearing two right now on my canines. So I couldn't speak for 10 days, and all of a sudden I'm like, it feels very bizarre to all of a sudden have your mouth not be rubber banded shut after having it shut for so long. So at that point I can speak to a degree. I'm at least understandable. I'm still drooling constantly. I'm still, I can't. Oh, they put you on a soft no chew diet, so that's what I'm on right now. I can't chew food. Can't bite anything.
So you just eat like a duck.
Yes.
Which
yes,
is another Simpsons reference. So if you're keeping track at home, let's call it 2.5. 2.5 references.
There you go. Yeah. So I can't. Yeah, I basically just cut everything real small and then swallow it. That's what I can do. And I've tried to like mash it with my tongue. Try to just like do something to pulverize my food, but it doesn't really help that much. I'm eating a lot of pasta because I can actually.
You never skip tongue day. Never skip tongue day.
My tongue is going to be like it's like an Olympics for tongues.
I believe they hold that in France.
Yeah, so this is about where I'm at now. I have my second follow-up this coming Thursday, so it was just 3 days from now, where I'm hoping they'll give me the permission to chew things. That would be really nice. I'm hoping that they also remove some of these elastics that they put in my mouth, or tell me to stop wearing them because they're annoying. So some considerations which I knew were going to be problems beforehand are my kids. So they tell you up front, it's like, don't engage in contact sports. You don't want to do anything where you might fall. You don't want to do anything where you might...
Basically, don't spend time with your toddlers at all. That's what that sounds like to me.
Is that why you canceled all those MMA fights you had lined up?
Yeah, I was... Well, I
had tickets to one of them.
So all the advice is around, like, don't do sports or activities or you could injure yourself, but it doesn't really say anything about the fact that I have two chaotic fucking like unpredictable tiny little monsters that have no idea what is wrong with me and don't care. So they've not whacked me in the face, but I've gotten some more forceful grazes than I intended to have. Nothing happens. I at this point I've talked to them, and what they've more or less said is like after 10 days, it's either going to kind of stay where it is, or you're going to have a serious, like if you got whacked in the face too hard, you could fracture one of the plates in your face, and I think you'd know. Yeah.
I hope you never have to find out.
Yeah, I don't want to find out.
I had deviated septum surgery a couple years ago, and my daughter, who was, I guess it was 4 years ago, because my daughter, who was 2 at the time, kicked me in the face afterwards. And it was the most painful thing ever. And I had to go in and see if she fucked anything up. She did not. Thankfully.
Well, that's good.
But that was no fun.
Yeah. It was,
I do not believe she did it intentionally.
Well, no. I mean, they're 2. You know, my daughters are 2. She was 2. It's just how they are.
Yes, but the argument could be made that it was completely on purpose.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's actually kind of maybe almost like a built-in natural instinct to try to prevent there from being like siblings, like harm the parent just enough so they can't reproduce for a while.
Nice.
Like I don't know if you guys have had experienced this, but like with my kids, when my kids were really little, they would they come up to me like, "Oh, daddy," like kind of like come to for your face, and then the first place that their feet would go would be right in the crotch, and it would just be like, oh god, oh, and
that's
and,
evolution of work right there.
Right, exactly, and I actually got like really good at like right before like they come over and be like like real quick like do like a cross-legged like ninja move like oh no, not today.
Dude, no, it's happened. Where they're just like, "Daddy," and then they like jump in your lap, like they do like a knee drop into your crotch. It's like, fuck.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like, why?
So, why did you decide this is a good idea? It's not a good idea. So as far as the rest of the surgery or the rest of the recovery, there was a 6-week initial healing phase. And I believe at week 6, I'll get the splint out and I'll have a lot more permission. So like most of my stitches should have dissolved, so I might be able to use a straw again. Which once I can use a straw again, I'm just going to drink everything through a straw, whether I need to or not. And then the full healing for this is 12 weeks, so 3 months, as when my bones will knit. If I were more physically active, I think there are certain things that they'd recommend I not do for like up to a year, but I ain't. So, I think I might have just drooled on camera.
You totally did.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's a treat for everyone on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah. Sorry.
Don't apologize. This is gold.
I thought.
Yeah. So now that I have, well, I guess even doing this stream, I didn't have much dignity to begin with, did I? So it just adds to the. It's just icing on the cake. So yeah, that's about it, really. I mean, at this point, I'm just waiting for my bones to knit so that I can resume eating pizza and all the junk that I like to eat as my primary diet.
I'm sure you'll be drinking some nice glass of pizza before you even realize it.
I am seriously
man. No, dude, pizza does not work liquefied. It does. Okay, I have this kind of funny story. Actually,
oh God.
Sort of
okay.
related.
No, this is good for me. I need to know this.
How can a story
at some point
follow liquefied pizza? I'm afraid.
Right. So at some point, God, this is like over, I don't want to say like 13, 14 years ago at least, my wife had her wisdom teeth removed. Mm-hmm. And so she wasn't quite as restrictive of a diet as you are, but she was restricted, and she was like we gotten pizza that night, and like I'd gotten some beer. I'd gotten some Golden Monkey, which is it's like a 9% beer that is quite spicy. Like it's got just like a lot of, I don't know, weird kind of exotic flavor to it.
I have my wisdom teeth for some reason. They're right here.
Wow,
beautiful.
I keep them in my desk, obviously. Who makes Golden?
Well,
I'll find it. You tell the story because it sounds familiar. That's why I ask.
I can't remember right this off the top of my head.
It's Victory. All right, go ahead.
Is that Victory? That's right. Sorry. Thank you.
No problem.
So she really wanted pizza and beer, and she was like, "But I can't eat pizza." And so she had this brilliant idea to like take some pizza and like take like a corner of it and put it in the blender and mix in some beer with it. And I was like, I don't think this is, honey, I don't think this is going to work. And
I get the theory though. Your stomach's not going to know the difference. It's like, I love pizza and beer.
your mouth will. Oh God, your mouth will. I mean, like the thing is that like, these are not two things that should like, it's kind of like if you have egg fried rice, you start by cooking the eggs a little bit and then mix it with rice. That way they're still kind of separated, because if you cook the eggs and the rice at the same time, you just kind of get like egg covered rice. And it's just, I don't know. I don't think it's as satisfying. And anyway, this stuff though, this like golden monkey pizza, I'll call it. It was like, it smelled like cat food. Just straight up like cat food. And I was just like she was like, oh, that smells really, really weird. And she was like, here, smell this. And I was like, why? I don't think you should. That's on you. And she ended up trying it and severely regretting it, apparently. Because apparently it tasted maybe even worse than it smelled. So yeah, ground up pizza, it might seem tempting, but it's like the separation of those layers of cheese, sauce, and crust are important to like the presentation of the overall mouthfeel that pizza is. I don't think you can drink pizza.
You tried milk.
I don't think you can do it.
I don't know if I'm gonna go for.
All right, before we go, are you willing to try to pronounce some words?
Yes, let's go for it.
All right, how about fussiness?
Oh fuck. Fussiness.
Hey, very good. You get a D. How about monstrousness?
Monstrousness.
You see, they're all going to have ness in it.
Yeah.
All right, so you did that one. Sorry, I'm
about
a little slow.
perspicacity?
I'm looking for a good. Yes.
Perspicacity. Perspicacity.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, well, you know, when you're really trying, you're doing fine, and it's
They're ruining the game.
well, it's okay because I thought your nervelessness would affect it. So why don't you try saying nervelessness?
Nervelessness.
Hey, nice. How about Mississippi?
Mississippi.
Hey, pretty close.
Yeah. The issue is I can't feel my lips come together, so I'm learning how to estimate.
How about dissuasiveness?
Dissuasiveness.
How about dispossessor?
Dispossessor.
Nice. How about classiness?
Classiness.
All right,
Yeah,
you're getting lots of dings. You get the grand prize if I could find it. That wasn't the grand prize. All right. Well, thanks for talking about your horrible surgery.
Yeah. You have any questions?
I hope not. What's the first thing you're going to eat? Is it pizza?
So they're gonna be Popeyes or pizza. I don't know which one.
So
How about Popeyes on pizza?
I'm thinking about it.
You knew I was going to suggest that.
They did the incisions into your jaw from the inside of your mouth, though, then?
Yes, they did, and that's a good question. Yeah, it was all done.
So I was like, I don't see like any scarring on the outside of your face or anything like that. I was like, I was kind of expecting you to look even more Frankenstein-y or something.
No, yeah, so the surgical hooks in my mouth are actually put on by the orthodontist. So they basically just like during the surgery they clamp onto the hooks, and then they, make the incisions and break apart your jaw with a hammer. So Yeah, the swelling was the worst part. Like, I still don't really know where my incisions were.
So they really moved stuff around. They didn't extract or insert anything other than the metal.
I mean, they could have shaved down some bone. I'm not sure. I need to get like the exact movements that were made, because I actually don't really know. If you go online and you look this up, people are like, "Oh yes, my upper jaw was moved 5 millimeters and my lower jaw was moved 7 millimeters," and it's like I don't know what happened. I just know they moved shit around. And they were trying to just do my upper jaw. They were originally thinking they'd only have to do my upper jaw, which is apparently way easier to deal with. But then once they did their simulated surgeries, they had to do both.
Oh no! I hope they didn't do that in that surgeon simulator game.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So I lost about 7 appendixes, I think, in the process. I don't know where any of my livers are. All 20 of them, they're gone.
Brain just right out the window.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. No, I mean, it wasn't really there. It's just somewhat sentient fluid, I think.
Is there a reason you still decided to keep up with the lipstick look?
No. Oh, one of the things, I can't really lick my lips. I kind of can.
Who does that for you then?
Oh, none of the jokes that came to mind would be good for the podcast.
Disagree.
So I'm just gonna leave that one there. Hold up. Wait. We can get our sponsorship. Carmex. Carmex will my lips for me.
You can send the check to our PO box.
What else? Oh yeah, I had to shave off my beard for the surgery. Or no, I had to shave off my beard for the surgical prep, which sucked. I haven't been clean shaven in like 10 years.
Yeah, it's. I'm glad it's back.
Yeah, I feel less weird. What else? Yeah, that's about it. That's all I got.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Well, if you have any questions about Mike's face, how much metal they put in, and what radio stations he gets now,
Yeah.
Send them my way, and I will forward them. Maybe.
Does this technically make Mike the most metal member of the band?
I don't know, because Nick has had some injuries as well, so we need to see if he's how much metal they put into him. But it's down between those two. I don't think everyone else is out of the competition.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that the fact that I think they broke my jaw with a hammer has to count for something.
That's pretty fucking badass, right?
It is. It's true. It's true.
All right. Well,
Forged with a hammer.
I need like some Man of War type beds on here so we can, so we can have Man of War's music while we're talking about smashing faces with hammers. Actually, it's more of a death metal thing.
Oh, it's hammer smash face.
Yeah, hammer smash face. Yeah, right.
That's the one. Yeah, I blew it. I blew it once again. All right, that one's for me. All right. Thanks for listening, and maybe by next time, Mike won't be talking like he just got out of the AV Club meeting. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to Podcast Them Down. You can find Burning Shadows, ISENMOR, and Recently Vacated Graves on Bandcamp, as well as Facebook, along with Fade to Black Metallica Tribute and Podcast Them Down itself. Until next time, keep it metal.